Look, when a woman ages or becomes a widow, society often assumes her inner desires have vanished. But the truth is different. The heart knows no age. The heart responds to life's circumstances. Today, we're going to talk about a topic most people avoid because it's not just about desire, but also about pain, silence, and deep emotions that remain bottled up, unable to be expressed. When an older woman or a widow begins to feel attracted to a man, she doesn't show it overtly. Her gestures aren't exaggerated. Her voice doesn't get louder. Everything about her becomes quieter and deeper because it's a feeling that isn't communicated with words, but with the beating of the heart. She feels it, but she can't find a way to say it. She perceives it intensely, even though society doesn't give her space to express herself freely. That's why her signals are discreet, restrained, and deeply emotional. And yes, these signals don't appear with just any man. They only emerge when she truly feels someone deserves her trust. But before understanding these signals, it's important to understand something first. You can't perceive the truth behind her gestures if you don't understand the weight she carries within. Her fear, her silence, and the internal battle she faces every day. Because being a widow or an older woman isn't simply a condition, it's an emotional storm. When a woman loses her lifelong partner, she doesn't just lose a person. She also loses her future, her dreams, her support, and even a part of her own identity. On the outside, she may appear strong, but inside she lives with immense loneliness. And the most painful thing is that society often doesn't even acknowledge that loneliness. It tells her, your life is over. You no longer have the right to be happy. Stay silent. But remember this, the heart belongs to the individual, not to society. And as long as the heart remains alive, feelings will continue to exist. Now we'll talk about 5 silent yet profoundly significant signs that these women show without saying a single word. If you can understand them, you'll discover that every human being needs the same thing: love, belonging, and companionship. When an older woman or a widow begins to feel something for someone again, she doesn't express that love directly. She experiences it with doubt, acts cautiously, tries to suppress her emotions as much as possible, fights against herself, and tries to convince, clears throat, herself using reason. But the truth is, love cannot be stopped. It's an inner voice impossible to silence. When her heart begins to be slowly and silently drawn to a man, a series of questions begins to resonate within her. What will people say? What will others think? Do I deserve to love again? Am I betraying my past? Will this man be able to understand me, listen to me, and truly feel me? And amidst all these doubts, signs begin to emerge little by little. The first sign is the change in her gaze. When an older woman or a widow begins to sincerely love a man, her gaze is the first thing that reveals it. The eyes tell the story of the heart. They never lie. And in her case, even less so. If she begins to feel something for you, she will pause for a moment when she sees you. She'll smile slightly, think for a moment, and become a little nervous. She wants you to look at her even though she's afraid of being misunderstood. When you're in front of her, she observes you silently. Sometimes she looks for sincerity in your eyes. Other times, she tries to find familiarity in your face. She finds it difficult to maintain eye contact. But deep down, she wants you to look directly into her eyes because she's not just observing you, she's feeling you. And when a woman looks with emotion reflected in her eyes, it means that little by little you've begun to occupy a space in her heart. Another important sign is that your words begin to affect her emotionally. When an older woman or a widow begins to feel something for a man, her way of speaking changes. She listens attentively to everything you say. Even a simple word can become an emotional connection for her. She starts asking you, "How are you? Do you look tired? Is everything all right? Is there anything worrying you?" At first glance, they seem like small questions, but for her, they represent a very large emotional investment. When she starts to feel something for you, her tone softens, her voice